Hello everyone. So this video is just a quick follow-up video on the one that I made recently, I believe, on making your own website, publishing your own website using org mode. And if you're using org mode and if you publish it using basically the default features, you will basically get a very simple web page, nothing much. For example, if you look at this particular page here, this is nothing but my org file, and the name of the org file is index.org. Now if I publish it as it is, it will not look great. I mean, when I say great, sorry, I take my words back. It will look simple, it will look elegant, but it will not really look fancy, right? So if I do an export of this particular file to a simple HTML file, and if I open this, let us see if I can open this. I should be able to. I don't really use not this one, so I already have a CSS for this. So anyway, so basically if you open this file without any CSS, it will of course look simple. I think you know how it works. But the thing is that good thing about org mode is that it is configurable, and you can of course make not so simple site using org mode if you want. For example, what I have been doing, I have been publishing, or I've been updating this site, and as you can see, I've done some modifications. Of course, there is no limit to what you can do, and everything is of course managed using org mode. You can see on top this nice menu, and you can see here that it is a bit responsive, so I've added some JavaScript. So this will of course look like I guess any modern website. I think, to be honest, if you keep things very simple, you don't really have to do these things. If the website is super simple, you can just open it, right? But I think these days we need, if there is a requirement, if there is a need to make sure that your website looks like a bit modern website that people are not really scared of, then you can always insert your own JavaScript and CSS, and I will very quickly show you. So if you look at this page, very simple, right? There is a home page, there is a blog post page, blog index page, and these are of course my individual blogs. But if I have to show the configurations, so let me show you the configurations. And what I will do, I will go to the page where I want to basically show you the CSS part. So this is how it will work. What you need to do in your so basically in your configurations of org mode publishing, and by the way, don't really worry about these the code here, because it is all listed on the documentation. Basically, you need to do something like this if you want to make your site look a bit decent. Just include something in the head, like your style sheet, or maybe other scripts like JavaScript. Then you need to have for a page, let us say for a blog page or your home page, some kind of preamble, basically this menu on top. And similarly, you can have a post-amble, which is basically just another menu. And if I go back to my site, this is a structure, of course. I have this blog folder, CSS folder, files folder, images folder, and you have to basically, when you publish using org mode, you have to take care of basically these various folders. Basically, when you run the command like Ctrl+U, Alt+X, or publish, it will publish everything. And in your configurations, basically in your command where you want to publish the whole site, you can actually do it for each and every element. Like for home, it will basically pick up from the directory and it will publish it to this directory. So basically you have to specify the publishing directory, which of course you can configure or manage using Git. I use GitLab. And for blog post, I also want to generate an index For files, if there are some files like PDF or whatever, you can also have like another folder for images. For CSS and scripts, you can have similar folder. So this is something that I have been doing, I think, for a few years now, and now for a long time I never really bothered to make the org mode based site fancy. I was actually fine with nothing but alt text, but now I'm thinking let us do a bit of CSS and insert some images. My intention is of course not really to make it like super complex site, because for that I use of course Drupal, but for anything which is simple and static, and of course not so static because you're managing it using org mode, if you have some notes and that you want to share with everyone, you can of course do it very easily. And in this video I just want to show you very quickly that yes, if you are thinking of using org mode to publish a website, and I think recently I made a video where I showed you, or no, I just talked about like a lot of use cases, like how I have been using org mode apart from just task tracking, and publishing a website is one of the use case, and a very good use case, because I think we all should have a website, our own place online somewhere, and I think we should all follow this practice of publishing, or I should say owning our own data. If you have to publish a blog, publish it on your own blog, but maybe post the link to Twitter. And of course, when you have a site like this, you can of course insert some meta tags or some other things that you may want to do for tracking purpose. And for example, in this case, because I wanted to make this site a bit more nicer, or I should say image with some images, some graphics. If you insert some images here, it will be displayed. I mean, when you have to insert some images, you just have to insert a link without any description. And when you export it to PDF or in this case HTML, it will be exported as it is. And of course, you can have because I tried. And by the way, this is not really super, I should say, although everything is possible because you can always modify the Emacs Lisp code, but it may not be super configurable because, for example, I may want to, this is the title, and if I change the title position because I wanted to display the title somewhere on top of the image, which actually I did, and it looks nice, at least on the home page, but when I go to a blog page, the same title without an image was also moved somewhere here. So if you want to insert like a custom class to a specific title, like for example, each and every like element will of course have a some class, I guess. In this case, there is a class called I guess it is title, which is like I think a bit default title inserted by org mode, and it makes sense. But maybe I want to have one more element on top of it, or maybe I want to have this CSS only applicable to a specific page or a section, or in this case only home page. So I may want to have one more ID or maybe another class for homepage title. So you can do these things, but it might take some time. But in most cases, for doing something very simple, I think org mode is wonderful. And I thought I'll probably show you. I will of course have more modifications done to this site. I'm not a designer. I don't really call myself as a designer, but I can do basic CSS. Not really, I'm not really. I think if I spend too much time on it, I can make it work. But I don't really want to spend too much time. This is like my evening mini project when I'm just watching some online series, or I'm having my drink in the evening. I have my laptop with me and I just work on this, just refresh my CSS and JavaScript skills. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.